The Biden administration is also preparing for the possibility to evacuate hundreds of thousands of American citizens from West Asia. Tensions in West Asia are escalating. It's been nearly 3 weeks since the war between Israel and the militant group Hamas began. According to officials familiar with the U.S. government's contingency planning, if the bloodshed in Gaza cannot be contained, thousands of American citizens will require evacuation from West Asia. The official, speaking on the condition of anonymity, said Americans living in Israel and neighboring Lebanon are of particular concern, though they stressed that an evacuation of this magnitude would be considered a worst-case scenario and that other outcomes are more likely. According to State Department estimates, there were about 600,000 U.S. citizens in Israel, another 86,000 believed to be in Lebanon when Hamas attacked. The specter of such an operation comes as Israeli forces, aided by U.S. weapons and military advisors, prepare for what's widely expected to be a dangerous ground offensive against Hamas militants. But till Israel launches its ground offensive, continuous Israeli strikes on Gaza have destroyed most of the neighborhoods there. Officials from the Hamas-run health ministry say the overall death toll has been risen. It's risen to more than 5,700 people. Half of those killed are women and children. According to the United Nations, about 1.4 million Gazans have been displaced. About 500,000 people are staying in 147 UN shelters. According to the United Nations, more than 400,000 Palestinians have now been categorized as internally displaced persons. Hundreds of thousands have packed into UN sheltering facilities which are severely overcrowded. Israel is bombarding not only northern Gaza but southern Gaza as well, including the border-crossing city of Rafah. Israel's military has even told Gazans to move south, otherwise they could be identified as sympathizers with the terrorist organization if they stay put. But even if people move south, many families who left Gaza to the south said they have also lost relatives during the Israeli strikes in southern Gaza, although Israel says it did not target civilians. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us the latest on the status of the American hostages being held by Hamas and the immediate policies concerning their release. Listen in.
The Biden administration says that it's engaged in prudent planning for worst-case scenarios where it would be required to evacuate hundreds of thousands of Americans from the Middle East region. While 600,000 Americans in Israel are a priority, Americans in Lebanon aren't safe either. Israel has already evacuated some of its citizens from its border with Lebanon. However, for the Biden administration, whose image has been shaped by the faulty withdrawal from Afghanistan, making these plans of evacuation is of utmost importance, and reporting on them and announcing them is also important, notably in an election year.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.